because it's the TacoTuesday.com podcast.
All right, guys. Welcome back to another episode of the TacoTuesday.com podcast. I'm your host, Corey, with co-host Crawford, otherwise known as Crawdaddy. Today we have Rich is Funny, which is really just your Instagram handle, so I'll let you introduce yourself properly. Good to have you, man. Welcome.
That was very smart to not try to pronounce my last name.
No, we know our limits. No, we know our limits on this show. Yeah.
You're like, how many syllables? You go ahead. Which is why I did Rich is Funny, because no one could pronounce it.
Fair.
That's why, and I didn't want to change my last name. Too late.
So all the Smiths were taken. Yeah.
Yeah. All the Smiths were taken. Exactly right.
Well, Rich, tell us about yourself, man. What is it that you do, apart from be really funny on social media and in public and in general?
I've been doing stand-up comedy since I've been 18, and then during the panty, everyone was like, well, we're not doing stand-up anymore. What are we going to do? So somebody in my agency challenged me to the TikTok challenge, which I was like, I don't know what this is, TikTok challenge. And I was like, what's TikTok? And I went on there and I only saw was like young girls doing the dance challenge with the side boob and the butt cheek. And I was like, okay, this is dumb. I'm going to put on a bikini and make fun of it. And it went viral. And then I was like, okay, well, let me do this outfit. And it went viral. And then I was like, all right, let me bring this to the public. And then I just kind of morphed in this thing. And now I get known for these dances, but then I'm trying to get people to come and like watch my special I just released, which is pretty cool. And they're like, oh, wait, he's a stand up, but he also has these, it's like sort of a character. It's the influencer is the character, but I'm also like a pretty well-established stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
So that's me. Grew up in New Orleans. Yeah, and I live in New York.
Nice, man.
Any other questions?
No, that's
a great episode, everybody.
5'8.5".
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, we definitely can't go anywhere or let you go anywhere until we hear more of the Trump impersonation that we heard off camera. That was brilliant.
Well, I'm going to tell you something about these guys. Taco Tuesdays will now be called Wacky Burger Wednesdays. They're changing the podcast. It's going to be so huge, so very huge.
God damn it, it's so good.
And they're doing great things for podcasts. They're making it so much better than Sirius XM, even satellite radio. They're so much better.
I freaking love this.
But they're doing so many great things. We're taking away tacos, and we're calling it New Mexico. Will now be called Not Mexico, not China. We're calling it Not China. And we're also going to have a new Taco Tuesday coin. It's going to be in the EDFP. And we're going to put it on like Wall Street. We'll be serving. Well, Robinhood, you can invest in Robinhood. And the Taco Tuesday coin be so great, so huge, so very huge.
Okay, the wildest part about that whole thing is that basically it could just happen at any time.
No, I feel like I'm watching
somebody
the news.
open the news app right now and it'd be like, oh shit, he actually just did that. Fair enough. Brother, what's it like doing stand-up? I mean, stand-up is a raw environment. Like you're putting yourself out there all the time anyway. But doing it in a place like New York and the surrounding, like the tri-state area, stuff like that, you must get some unforgiving crowds, whether it's like heckling or stuff like that, or you get some amazing crowds. What's it like doing in that environment?
I mean, I work pretty much every night at the Comedy Cellar, which is like the best comedy club in the world. And I go and I travel too. Sometimes you get a dud, like you get an audience, but it's not like last night, like, say I do like to say 10 shows in a week at the Comedy Cellar. 9 usually are like, why don't I have my own TV show? Why did I not own my own 3-picture deal? I'm the great. And then there's one show you're like, why didn't I go to law school? So yeah, last night there was, but I realized I was like, oh, they don't speak English, which is like, why do you go to comedy show if you don't speak English? I'm like, oh, I'm blind. Let's go to the ballet.
Yeah.
I smell talent. I don't. Did I mention my comedy special at richisfunny.com? Okay. Anyways, yeah, but normally it's and I especially like the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, because they're comedy fans.
Yeah.
Like they're not weekend, like they're looking for something to do. Let's get a comedy show and talk to each other. Like that's my only, I don't mind heckling. I just don't like when they talk to each other and not paying attention.
Yeah.
That's my big, that's because it's like, I can't do anything with that.
Right.
You just, that's the only thing I can not do. But heckling, I'm like, oh, please, let's go.
Yeah.
Game on.
Let's go.
You a big roaster guy when you see people talking?
Yeah. I mean, I have to balance between like, I do like try to it depends how bad it is. I try to usually let the staff do the job if they're not doing the job, which at the good comedy clubs they do,
Yeah.
like the Cellar and Gotham. They'll say, "Hey guys, we're gonna do the job your parents didn't, so like it's time to be quiet." But also the problem is that at the Cellar they take your phones and they put them in a pouch, so you can't record the show. So it allows the comedians to be safe, to try stuff, to do edgy, whatever. And a lot of these younger people have not ever made eye contact. So you took away their phone, like, oh my God, I have never seen your face. Oh yeah, let's stop. Like that is a legitimate issue. When they're like, and I hate to sound like an old guy. Back in my day, well, hashtag hash was something you smoked and a tag was a game you played. But it is a very big difference between people that grew up not making eye contact and trying to have a conversation with them. Is like, I'm like, now that's why everybody's on the spectrum, because you can't communicate. They can't make eye contact. These are all the sides of the spectrum.
That's fair.
Or,
Dude, I bet that really is what happened. People just stop being used to having human interaction, so they just have to have a phone in front of them. Otherwise, it's like total shutdown.
I'm guilty. But generally, it's what I love about stand up. Like if I do like these online stuff, which you guys probably found me through the online stuff, I don't know what the reaction is. I don't know how it's going to play. I have a sense. I have a feel. Sometimes like the stuff I'm like, oh, this is going to rock. Nothing. So I'm like I found something in my drafts I put up, like viral, where I was like, oh, I'm never. This one's done. This one's not good. And I'm like, all right, I have nothing to post. Here, because you got to feed the algorithm like a needy girlfriend.
Yep.
I love you, and you just
I hate it.
Feed. Oh, I hate it. So yeah, it's a full-time job. So I don't dislike influencers. A lot of comics or I understand that that's a different kind of grind.
Yeah.
The problem is when they jump into our lane and they're like, I could do stand up now. And no, you can't.
No.
But go ahead and try. And they'll go there one time and people will be like, ooh, that wasn't good. It's like, yeah, this takes a long time to craft. This takes a lot of I would go up when I started, I did a club that had 8 shows a night, and I would do that 6 nights a week. And I was doing like 30 to 40 shows a week just so I could get the reps in, so that I would get the muscle memory. And they were not great shows. And they were like, a woman throw up at me, and the owner handed me a mop. Oh, you want to heckle? Okay. Let's play.
You cut your dues. As a comedian, so much of it is like, it's reacting off the crowd. It's kind of reading the room. It's getting that initial feedback, like, oh, this joke hit, this one didn't, like, oh, I didn't get the reaction there, things like that. Yeah. What's it like from the social media standpoint, where you kind of mentioned, like, you don't know what people are reacting to? Like, some shit might go viral, some won't. Like, what's it like to put your material out there and you're like, fuck, I have no idea what this is going to do?
The best advice I could give to anybody is don't read the comments, because the internet is opening a window and screaming, and people scream back. And it's can be brutal and cripplingly, like someone should stab this guy in the head, that kind of, like, those nice comments. There's and the comic brain will go, oh, not good, yeah, I'm the best. Okay, you're great, yeah. Whoa, what's that? And that's where you zone in on, so I know, I can read a room, like when I'm doing stand up, and go, they're like edgy, they're dumb, they're smart, they're savvy, they're internet. You could sort of I'm doing it long enough, you could sort of read where, okay, this I should take them here, there. That's some people have a definitive act, and that's what it is, and I get that too. But if you have a Rolodex of a lot of material, and go, all right, I'm gonna go here, I'm gonna go there. Okay, this is that kind of thing. But online, part of I guess the good news, bad news is here I have this big following from doing these goofy dances, and then they see, oh, he also does these goofy characters, and then also stand up. It's a little bit of brand confusion, I guess you would call it, because I posted something that I thought was pretty innocuous, and people, I thought it was, it's whatever. I don't, and so I eventually, and then the next post I said, I would like to apologize for anyone that I've offended. I'm not going to, but I'd like to. I can't. I would like to apologize, but I also don't. I stand behind the joke. I said, I saw a trending topic. I thought that this was a clever little hibba-dibba-da. I thought it might brighten someone's day, so I hit send. And I was like, what have I done? And a lot of it's people are over, they're had enough with the political stuff.
Yeah.
So, everything's politicized. So I'm like, okay, I get the upset. And I'm not invested, although I do have a couple bucks in Dogecoin. But I am not invested in the way that you think they are, because I know I'm not going to change anyone's mind. I know that, like, however, did I give a bunch of money and make a bunch of calls and let us know? No, I did the bare minimum on these elections, so I don't have a right to get really upset because I didn't do anything.
Yeah.
I just went, I vote this and I vote that, and okay, whatever happens, happens, and that's it. And so I'm aware that, like, there's a lot of hypocrisy. I'm also a hypocrite. You know what I mean? I get it. The things that I spot, I understand. I'm like, why does that bother me? Because I probably do it, you know? So, I don't know but, and then if you watch my special at richisfunny.com, you can see that, like, you're like, wait, is this guy, is he, that you could see I kind of hit both sides.
Yeah.
I try to sort of make, like, my idea is like, let's make fun of everybody, bring us together by laughing at each other, with each other, through the eyes of love. I'm not here to offend you, upset you, or change your mind. I'm here to release you of whatever pain that you have. You can maybe get some endorphin and serotonin, or take my own pain and laugh at it, so that it sort of pushes it down and waters it down a little bit.
Being in comedy, like back in the day a little bit, like 90s, early 2000s, kind of pre-social media, you could get away with a little bit more. Obviously, there were instances where, like, somebody made a joke that just wasn't funny or something like that, but nobody was really getting kind of quote unquote canceled. Like, now that everything is online, I love that places are taking away phones so that they can't take one snippet, take it out of context, be like, look what he said. Like Bill Burr makes fun of this all the time, and some other comedians do. Is there ever any, like, do you have any fear doing comedy that, like, something will get taken out of context and, like, all of a sudden they'll be like, oh shit, canceled, like Happy Tuesday morning?
Yeah, I have a bit that I'm afraid to put on. Like, I have a new joke that I think is really funny. I said, like, I think this is exactly to your point. I think you should be able to separate the art from the artist. Like, I'm a big fan of Bill Cosby, not the comedian. So I'm fully aware, the second I put that online, I know I'm going to be dealing with unfollow. You're pro I don't even want to say the R word, or sexual assault. Like, which I'm clearly not.
Yeah.
I'm clearly right. Like, it's like the Jeselnik school of comedy. It's like, I don't think he's pro molestation.
No, but he's got some A+ jokes.
I think it's a great. You think it's going this way and then it goes that way. That's why I think it's a good joke. I think it's a good surprise. You guys laughed. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like that. But Bill Cosby bothers me, so I make fun of him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not saying, I condone his, you know what I mean? And I don't.
No, I don't. Like, I don't remember who did it, and I'm completely paraphrasing, and somebody can for sure correct me in the comments. Well, you will correct me in the comments, but, like, somebody did a whole bit. It's like, man, maybe if Hitler's parents just put one of his paintings on the fridge, like, shit would have been different. Like,
right. So there's, like, and there is a line, right? So, like, that I think is a pretty clever bit. Now, look, my grandparents are Holocaust survivors. It took me how long to bring that up? 20 minutes.
Pretty good for a comedian.
For a Jew. Genocide. So but I have to say, like, for that kind of stuff, like, I go, like, super sensitive in that area, because of, like, when it gets pushed too far, you go, now you have Kanye going out and selling swastika shirts, and there's no upside to it. It's just pure hate.
Yeah.
Like, there's no, like, well, technically it's freedom of speech, but, like, what is behind it? It's not, like, clever, lighthearted, well-intentioned, hey, let's cross over, like, I have jokes that I make fun of different, I try to tend to punch up, or like, I don't really usually punch down. Like, if I go race, let's say I have a joke, God is a black woman, like, that's not, you know what I'm saying? So there's an, you know what I'm saying? Like, it has to be done with some very careful intentions, But I hate the fact that, like, I had characters, I was doing these prank calls, and I can't do the characters anymore because it's, considered cultural appropriation. Like, I have, and I go, this is where it goes too far. Like, if the other night, someone in a comedy club, I will not mention, the manager says, if you do this character, there was, like, a light show. Go, if you do this character I was hosting the show. They go, if you do this character the whole show, I'll double your pay. I go, okay, let's bring it on. And the show was, hey, what's up, fuckers? Yeah, I'm Jorge Esposito. We're gonna fucking have a great time. What's up? And then I did the whole show like that. They bought it. I saw audience members after, and they were like, they couldn't tell it was me. And so they didn't know, like they literally bought into it, and like it was confusing. It was like there was a guy named Daniel Simonson who's from Norway, and I was like, hey, imagine he's like doing a character, he's like from Minnesota. That'd be fucked up. So oh, you guys want to hear my Trump? Great, people. And then they were like, what the fuck? Like it was, but I had more fun with it. But I can't do that in a public setting. Like I have a whole character based on that. I've got a whole, like you can't, you can't do the Indian accent anymore. Why not? But I can't, and I think it's so small minded because now it starts to go like, well, people that can walk should not be able to play people that are in wheelchairs. Like you've lost your mind.
For sure.
Like stop it. There are real problems out there. Women should make the same money as a man. There's like that kind of stuff. That's a real issue, not whether I make a voice or not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you ever feel like when you're doing stand-up comedy these days that you notice a different vibe in the room? Like there's more of a shift of people not accepting jokes for jokes?
Younger Brooklynese. I did shows in San Francisco and like in the super like, and this is the annoying thing, right? It's always getting offended for somebody else.
Yeah,
right.
What if the Guatemalan man who is 4'6", but he should not feel short? It's always that person.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I have a joke. Like I just did a show in Whole Foods, Brooklyn, on the corner of gentrification and hypocrisy.
Right next to the Kraft Mayo store. Yep.
Yeah, right. So you've pushed black people out, you've raised their rents and you've turned it all into a cool chai latte shop. And yet you are so concerned about, it's like when the Oscars is complaining about, the environment as they got there on their private jets. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
Like, okay, like I know it's important, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going to be preaching about, everyone needs to get a crew cut because it'll help I look like Luigi's father from James Brown's mugshot. Why do I look like this?
No, that's a great head of hair, man.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say though, you brought up Kanye like selling swastika shit online, and the same people that will say they support that because they support free speech as a free speech absolutist, if you say something that goes against their specific political beliefs, all of a sudden it's well, now you've crossed the line. It's like, okay, who is the arbiter of the line? Like every joke is basically going to be acceptable or not, like in the eye of the beholder. Everybody's going to view it differently.
Either everything is funny or nothing is
either
funny.
Everything is acceptable to say, or we have guidelines, and it's not absolute free speech.
Well, yeah. I mean, look, you're not supposed to be able to you're not supposed to yell fire in a crowded movie theater, right? That's how it's defined. So therefore, it's going to create violence, and I don't know. Like, I'm not the master of the universe, so I don't know how to like these things, but the experience I had growing up and the experience of my grandparents, you go like, yeah, we've seen what happens when this gets out of hand. We see what, like, is it free speech or is it hate speech? Like that, that sort of things. Like, I don't know. Like, I also have to be aware of like my perspective is going to be different because of like how I grew up. I grew up, where the former Grand Wizard of the Ku Klux Klan had gotten elected to office in my district. That's where that happened. So like I got off the bus, I would get the crap beat out of me for killing Jesus. I'm like, you guys are bad at math. And, I'm like, what I'm saying? So like, it was really a math issue.
Yeah.
But like that kind of, so I go like, so I'm more sensitive to it than somebody who's like, I don't know, they look like you guys would say, or even worse, I've assumed based on you guys that because of the color of your skin or your sexual preference, that you're the same people that are going to be storming the Capitol January 6th. Is that fair to you? Absolutely not. Because you can't control the color of your skin you could control your sexual preference, but there's not enough money in this.
Well, I actually didn't get to the Capitol until the 7th, so I was a little late, what I mean? But
I definitely.
The whole party was over.
But I'm just saying that's also the pushback the other way, where it's like, I've been told like, hey, we want to hire you, but like, we can't. And I'm like, why? And they're like, well, this is things you can't control. I go, well, how do I not get reactive in my own mind with this? How do I not go, this is too far? Well, how is this the content of my character? And it's not something I'm like, I go, I can't control it. I just have to create more and try harder and work harder. Yeah. And I understand the pushback. I understand that all of my friends of color, as they say, I don't say Black Friday, I say of color Friday. I understand.
It's not white, it's Appalachian American.
Right, exactly. I understand that their roles for them were prisoner number 3, homeless guy 2. I understand there is a need to like sort of correct the market, but like, does every commercial have to be interracial couples? You know what I'm saying?
There is
everyone.
it's a crazy obsession to
Um,
be politically correct these days. I mean, it's just absolutely out of
so-
control. Nobody can just take a joke for being a joke. It's got to be dissected and just.
Yes. So like I think there's a there on both sides, right? So I think like the extreme left is out of their minds. I think the extreme right is out of their minds. I want the market to sort of correct itself and sort of settle in the middle where it's like, okay, this is reasonable. Like I can tell Kanye selling swastikas is not good natured fun. You guys making that joke about if the picture on the if he had, that's that's funny in itself. That's not commenting what they're saying. That there's got to be an intellectual button that goes, yeah, that's funny. If you go, you cannot joke about that. Well, have you heard of Mel Brooks?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I think you can, but it has to be. And he did make it clear he never made fun of the victims. He always made fun of the Nazis. Okay, I get that. That's definitely what the difference, But wow, we really got down the rabbit hole there, huh? Okay.
No, this is going to do really well in the algorithm.
You could cut this out.
Oh, no way, dude.
Absolutely not.
Nope. I'm all about keeping it real.
Oh, because people are going to be fighting?
Yeah. It's all about the comment section. Yeah, the more that they hate this, the better we do. Yeah.
We're gonna find out a bunch of people's political opinions in about 2 hours.
Very true.
Oh man. Well, they can certainly go to richisfunny.com to watch my special.
I recommend that they do
it.
You should do that.
Yeah, I have a pretty cool. I'm gonna put it on YouTube later, but I did I shot it at the Comedy Cellar. I took the hour, I cut it into 2. It's not like part 1, part 2. It actually makes sense as 2 different specials. I'm working on the 3rd one, and it's very proud of it. And I have really good feedback from it. But it's like Gilbert Gottfried's wife really just wrote a bunch of nice things to me. Name dropper.
Nice.
Yeah,
he's one of the goats, man.
Yeah, he's awesome. So like it's really like it's something I'm pretty proud of. I did something different. I put it on Punch Up Live, which Punch Up is a great site. It's a Comedy Central, so it's stand-up fans. And the only price of admission, I didn't charge anything. I said, like, give me your email, so I'm in your area. I'll let you know, but I won't spam you. That's kind of the price of admission, which I think is pretty smart. And then I'll put it on YouTube, and then then I'll be competing with cat videos and beheading videos.
Yeah, I hope you beat the beheading videos because that's depressing.
Yeah, I think that's also like 10 years ago.
Yeah, it's very out of
It's like it's not
no one's doing
anymore.
that anymore. Like,
yeah, beheadings are so yesterday's news, man.
God.
No, beheadings is a real problem in today's society.
I don't know. 90s genes are back, according to Kendrick Lamar. So maybe beheadings are going to make a comeback. I don't know.
Can I make an admission and how embarrassed I am? How like I just listened to old school music. I didn't recognize any of his songs.
No, me neither. I don't know any of. I know his name. I've heard his name. I don't know any of his
need
music.
to stay relevant. So it's
I was
ability.
and it doesn't like I like old school rap. Like hit me with some Wu-Tang, some Fat Boys, some Run DMC, like old school rap.
Yeah.
But this I was like, and then I was watching it at the Comedy Cellar, and I was watching people like really into it. I was like, wow, we're very different people. I was like, there's some sort of message, something going on here. I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I just want to watch football and eat wings and be entertained. I don't want to think.
Fair.
Sounds like you're asking kind of a lot of a football game.
I mean, it's a weird thing. Like, they have to put, this. It's like such a strange thing. I think they're trying to like. I mean, here's the correction. Like, it is not. I love football. It is horrifically awful for the players. They are going to go through lifelong injury, like brain stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things. So to justify it, you go stop hate on their helmet, and then well, so they're trying to do what they can, but it's a violent sport. I mean, this is it's violent. It's gladiators. I mean, what do you put eat vegetarian on the Tigers table.
At least the Chiefs lost. I'm happy about that. So.
I am. I bet my friend who was 17-0. He goes, they're going to come back. It's the Chiefs. I'm like, you want to bet? He's like, yeah, I got to get 2-1 odds. I'm like, okay. How much
I
you
would
wanna
love
lose?
that money. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. $50. Because there is a part of me like they did last year with San Francisco was the
Yeah.
team. San Francisco, yeah, they beat. I was like 3.5 quarters. San Francisco outplayed them, and they just figured it out. But yeah, this is they got humbled. I think
Yep.
Well,
they and I'm from New Orleans, so I'm excited about the offense coordinator becoming the new head
Yeah,
coach
that's right.
of the Saints. But we still have Mickey Loomis, so that's not going to be well. Mickey Loomis is doing the best he can. Unfollow him.
Everything's
yeah,
a comment section.
the comments saying I'm not going to follow this page anymore because I didn't like this content. Like they're the arbiter of what you're supposed to fucking
You're like,
post.
okay,
It's crazy to
congratulations,
me.
Bob
Yeah,
01735.
nobody gives a shit about you. You look like a bot. It's embarrassing.
Those people always have no posts, and they always like. I have well, I wish I didn't pay attention to those people because that's what they're looking for. It's like I live in my mother's basement and I'm sad, so I'm gonna people that feel good about
Yeah.
themselves. Like I see plenty of stuff. I really don't like the pretty girls walking videos. Like when they're just like, and
It's
I'm
so
just
dumb.
jealous because they have a million likes and 10 million views, and it's just like I'm pretty and like, no offense, Pam, but it's like just the pretty, and they're just walking. I'm like, you're doing nothing. Like, oh, wow, you're really talented the way you like stand. Not even like modeling. Like, just you're the
Doing a great
stand.
job
And
existing. Yeah.
but I don't write that in the comment because I don't think like me impacting that person's like. Look, people are buying it. They're selling it. That's not my job. My job is not to take away, is to give. So I can't write that. I think it. I tell you, but like it's whatever. It's like okay, and maybe I'm jealous because here I'm like I'm doing. I'm singing, I'm dancing, I'm doing impressions, I'm doing stand up, and I'm like, wait, who is this guy? You know what I'm saying? So maybe there's some jealousy there
Fair.
at the core of it.
I mean,
That's
you
fair.
you really should have been
Right?
born a hot chick. So I was kind of mistake number one on your part.
Well, I was a hot chick and I transitioned to Borat. I like it.
Who
Wow. I
Very
would
nice.
say you actually remind me of a Borat meets Pedro Pascal does stand up comedy. Is that fair to say?
Pedro Pascal.
That is a smoothie of stuff right there.
That's a blend right there.
Pedro Pascal. I was thinking Kramer but that's
It's
maybe
Kramer
too old.
hair.
Yeah,
It
for
is
sure, Kramer hair.
Yeah.
Oh, Pedro Pascal. Yes.
It's the mustache and the facial
too-
expressions.
Either that or Groucho Marx, but yeah.
Do you think Pedro Pascal is a common enough reference?
I think now. Yeah.
I feel like everybody knows Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, he's everybody's
He's
daddy
the
nowadays.
Mandalorian,
Joel from The Last of Us.
Yeah.
Got
Yeah.
to be Mr. Fantastic. Yeah, accomplished actor. He's good. Plus, he seems cool. Seems like he'd be a good guy to get a beer with or tacos.
I think he'd be a cool dude. Yeah, I think he'd be a good guy to get a taco on Tuesday with.
See, that's why I said it. He got the reference.
Said
He
name,
got the
said
reference.
name. Yeah.
Who are some of your inspirations for stand up? Like, who are you from? Some of your favorite comedians?
Inspirations?
Yeah, inspirations are just kind of
drugs, alcohol.
fair works.
No, I love Dave Attell.
Yeah,
Dave Attell's great,
Insomniac was one of the best shows.
and he's such a
Insomniac with
cool
Dave Attell
dude
was
in
amazing.
person.
I watch him and I'm like, he's an insanely good writer and insanely good performer, and like he is one of the quickest minds I've ever seen.
Yeah,
He's just absolutely jaw-dropping good.
he's a really big inspiration for high functioning alcoholics everywhere. Very talented.
Yeah, very talented. He is. He's amazing.
I've never seen him.
I
Never seen him live.
oh, the best. Like when I was young, I studied people and I had different things that I liked about him. Like I like Steve Martin's silliness. I like how Bill Hicks could say something. I like how George Carlin could say something and then be silly. I liked Richard Pryor, how he took his life and made it like, he like took his pain and just like we all laughed together at it. I think that was really brilliant. I liked Robin Williams, just manic, amazing control of the crowd and the area, and just like be like, wow, the speed and the improv, or some of it was real and some of it was like there's a difference. Like I could be like, hey, I know I could see how he did that. I liked I actually liked. I'm trying to think who else. I'm trying to think because I know you're gonna get a comment. How come you don't like any women? I do. I like Joan Rivers. How she didn't give a hook. I remember there was one thing where she did a deaf joke or something,
Mm-hmm.
and so of course somebody Karen'd on her, and she's like, "My brother's deaf." Okay, you asshole. My brother, so I can make that.
She would
joke.
rip
Like,
into people.
yeah, yeah, she was okay, but I like that. I liked and then I liked the like Gilda Radner. I liked her
Yeah.
characters a lot. They were so specific. And Carol Burnett, and I liked the Carol Burnett show, how it had this feeling of like these are friends having fun. There's I'm sure there's like
Fortune
75,000 more on the
Feimster
list,
comes to
but
mind for me.
yeah, I
She's
like her a
great.
lot. Jessica Curson, who's one of my best friends, watching her live is amazing. She's such a force. Like you can't she can change the energy of a room.
Yeah.
And Fortune's great. You just like feel like you know her. You know what I mean? She's great.
It's a really cool
Yeah.
time to see comedians, especially with like I have a friend who works with Netflix and she helps a lot with like Netflix as a joke and all the stuff that they're doing. And it really seems like there's a big push to bring stand-up comedy kind of like really to the forefront. Like the past like 3-4 years, it really seems like it's had this big boom. I don't know if that's social media or just like people are finally getting kind of their credit and getting specials, things like that. But what's it feel like to kind of be in it?
I can tell you from the behind the scenes, it's super easy to produce.
Yeah.
When there's things like, oh, I don't know, a big writer strike and nothing can happen. Well, you can self-produce this for, pennies on the dollars and sell them. And it's like, yeah. So it's like, realistically, it's the easiest thing to produce.
Yeah, that's fair. I didn't think about that.
But then like I said, the market got saturated because there's so much comedy. Everyone goes, yeah, we're gonna go put this on YouTube because there's no point in selling it. Like also like there's no control.
Yeah.
Like my friend had one that they spent millions of dollars on billboards in Times Square, and millions, and they aired it one time in 10 years at 11 o'clock on a Friday. Once it aired once.
Jesus.
Once, and then this person could not get it for 10 years.
That's wild.
Yep.
Yeah, it's
Behind the curtain, folks.
It's a tough industry to break into for sure. I worked at the Irvine Improv Comedy Club for just shy of a decade, and I saw
When?
Jesus, I started when I was like 19, which I can't do
Years.
math. What, 2012? 2012 to like 2020-ish?
Yeah, I was there.
Were you? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I saw a lot of the guys like on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, the people that were really trying to break through, the people that were doing a lot of open mics. They were sometimes paying to do shows. And some of those guys would be super funny, but it's that, there's something like a wall you have to break through to just like something goes viral or you hit that. I don't know how to describe it, but some people ended up doing super well from doing those early shows.
Yeah, I mean, I think, it's my opinion, it's all I have. I think this comics in New York, especially starting, you get more reps, so you get better.
Yeah.
You get bigger muscles. And unfortunately, comedy's experiential. It's that's it. There's no shortcut, which is why the stand-ups are like, okay, go be an influencer and now get on stage and then let's see how that works for you. And some of them can make the transition, but most of them can't, So that's, but that's also a different kind of club. Irvine's like out in sort of the Orange County area. It's not the, you know what I mean, in the gritty part of LA. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, and also I think the audiences are more self-aware in LA because there's a lot of show business people who are like, am I being looked at as I that?
That's fair. That's fair. It is
You
not
want to
as
see my
gritty as New
impression of
York.
LA? This is my impression of LA. Oh, your grandmother died? Was she SAG?
The only thing you're missing is a smoothie from Erewhon, and you got it.
Yeah. I remember being at the Hollywood Improv and being like, I'd say to one guy, "Are you a Metrodome? Why do you keep doing this?" Because he was looking over my shoulder to find someone more important. So like such a cliche.
Cage-free, gluten-free cocaine. That's Los Angeles.
I avoid Los Angeles like a plague.
New York.
Where are you guys based out of?
So we record this show actually in Orange County. We're about 10 minutes from Irvine right now, as the crow flies,
Oh, cool.
or based on California traffic, 3 days. So it just depends.
Uh-huh.
So East Coast comedians do hit a little different than West Coast. There is something
sure.
about that gritty. You look at guys like Colin Quinn or like Nick DiPaolo and some of those guys, like even people that went into acting like Dennis Leary, who got the chops and like stand up and stuff. There is something to that East Coast kind of grittiness. It's like how like West Coast hip hop and East Coast hip hop is totally different. Like there is something to that. Yeah. hitting on kind of that grittiness of performing in the city, that nonstop kind of grind.
Yeah, definitely. There's definitely more of a grit because it's also like people are doing showcases in LA, and I think it's more result based. I don't mean to be. I'm not trying to crap on LA comics, although if that does help the algorithm, please fight. But I think it is more result based because you do have an opportunity to like be seen more in LA, where like someone's like, the head of showbiz, like Marvin, that new sound you're looking for, listen to this.
Yeah.
And in New York, it's much more process based, and it's that sort of thing.
Yeah. Well, you could definitely tell like people's different life experiences from West Coast to East Coast and the kind of comedy that they gravitate towards doing. It does differ a lot. It's somebody from the West Coast like me, never really spent much time in the East Coast. I don't really know what life is like out there. I can't make sort of relatable jokes for those people. I just don't get them.
You've never seen an unhoused man shitting into a fire and thought, I better not make eye contact.
Well, I've been to LA, so I've seen that a couple times.
I was going to say, that sounds like that's just Thanksgiving in Southie.
Yeah, that's Skid Row, dude.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're going to start to kind of wrap up this episode now, but like, what does the future look like for you? Like, are you looking to like, are you going to be like touring or doing shows? Like, what does your kind of day-to-day look like?
So I am starting to go back on the road. I was on the road for a long time, and I said, hey, I want to see what happens if I don't travel 190 days a year. So I'm trying to go out more. That's part of why I'm doing the special, trying to get like a sense of like the data of like, oh, you're popular here, go play there. You're popular there, go play there. I'm trying to figure out a way to translate my dance fans into stand-up comedy fans. I did. I used to tour with Jim Brewer for a long time
Real
ago.
Funny.
And and he's like, he has me sometimes, like he did a theater in Long Island and he had me come out in the dance outfit and I'd roast people and roast people dance. That was really successful. I don't know how to capture that and like sort of get that feeling, but it did really well. So that might be a way but I have to figure out a way to marry these two worlds because I have this really great following from it. But I'm like, that's not driving me artistically. The stand-up is. So how do I bring those two together? You know what I'm saying? I love doing characters. I love that stuff, but I don't, the dancing thing, I've done a lot of it. I get that people love it. I just don't, I'm not a dancer who does comedy. I'm a comedian who dances. Like, there's a difference. So I'm trying to figure out what that is. But right now, I got that special at richisfunny.com. He's a marketer. Did I say richisfunny.com? Yes, Rich is Funny. It's one word. It's not hard to spell, richisfunny.com. And I'm going to, I have the other one that I'll release in the near future, and I'm working on the third one, which is kind of cool. That's the most exciting thing, writing new jokes that actually work.
Nice.
And that's better than learning a plie.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. So I'm doing that. I am keep working on the characters and stuff on social media. So if you go to my Instagram, Rich is Funny, you can see me at Rich is Funny. And did I mention Rich is Funny? This guy's obnoxious. I don't like that he's his own proponent. Look at him being his own cheerleader.
Dare he market himself?
I hate it, but I have to.
We were gonna actually make you do it in a little bit, so the fact that you kind of just rolled into it is good.
Well, I'll tell you what I noticed. I did like Bobby Kelly's podcast, and then they brought on another comic that I wasn't aware. I thought it was just me, and this guy from the minute he opened his mouth, he goes, "Da da da, watch my special." And he goes, and then at the end when we stopped recording, he goes, "The reason you have to do this is because people don't make it to the end. Nobody has the attention span. So get it out in the beginning so that you've done your marketing for what the purpose of. I mean, I love hanging out with you guys, but I have a purpose. I'm like really proud of this special. I want people to watch it. So get it out first." Let people get it, and then you can have, then the pressure's off. You got, you know what I mean? That's like if you go on a date and your first thing is you make out and that's it. Then you can have a date instead of the whole time like, when are we gonna kiss? Can we kiss? Then you can be yourself.
Just get it out of the way.
Just get it out of the way.
That's fair. I like that.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's a wrap, guys. Dude, thanks so much for coming on the show. Really?
No. This is a wrap. Sorry.
I like his version better.
That was so lame.
It's okay. It was the end of the show. Nobody's still watching.
Yeah.
There's like 3 people.
No,
they just left it on in the background.
They're trying to look up Rich is Funny on Instagram, at Rich is Funny.
It's one word.
It's just one word.
No spaces.
No spaces. One word, Rich is Funny. Follow this guy. Watch his special. He's proud of it. We're proud of it. We're proud of you. And we just hope that you're proud of us. And we'll let you know how Burger Wednesday goes. You pitched an interesting idea. So
It's going to be huge.
We got Burger Wednesday, Filet Mignon Fridays, Samosa Saturday.
That's just a hot pocket. It's fine.
Man, I'm looking forward to see how you marry the stand-up comedy to the dancing videos, because I know there's some sort of sweet, beautiful middle ground in there that's going to crack people up.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So,
yeah.
Awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for the time, brother. We appreciate you.
nice
Thanks for
chatting with
having
you.
me.
All right. Don't forget to check out TacoTuesday.com. Stay classy, stay happy, stay healthy. See ya.